Chapter 6564. A young girl can sit firmly on the throne. If it weren't for Charlie's support behind the scenes, the Fay family would continue to hunt down Stella and her grandfather even if they were embroiled in scandals. If it weren't for Charlie's support behind the scenes, even if she helped the Fay family's building collapse at a critical moment, the Fay family would still banish her to the cold palace afterward, or even kick her out. And the reason why the Fay family still didn't dare to rebel against her after surviving the crisis, it was all because of Charlie's existence. As long as he is still there, as long as he has not broken up with Stella, he will be Stella's pillar, and the Fay family, from top to bottom, will not dare to disobey. Even if it was the number one heir of the Fay family and his eldest son, the two people who held real power in the Fay family at the time, what about it? In front of them, Charlie put a gun to their son's forehead and asked them if they would accept killing him today. He completely defeated the father and son. From the moment the bullet penetrated the head, Charlie became a nightmare for the Fay father and son, who could not get rid of it for the rest of their lives. As for old Fay, for the sake of longevity, he had already willingly given up all control over the Fay family and was content to be his long-lived emperor. He was not dissatisfied with Stella at all, but regarded her as a great savior. Therefore, it was Charlie's strength, solemnity, and elixir that ensured that Stella could sit firmly on the Diaroitai in the Fay family and ensured that the Fay family had no dissent towards Stella. Therefore, putting aside Stella's deep love for Charlie, this kindness was enough to make her bow to him for the rest of her life. It was also because of this that even though the head of the Mitsui family was here, Stella still had to express her respect to Charlie first, as well as her inner fear and trepidation. Even Claire was a little confused. She knew that Stella respected her husband, but she didn't expect him to respect her to this extent. But Charlie had a look of disapproval at this time. It was as if Stella's respect for him was what he should have done. He looked at Stella, smiled slightly, and said calmly, "It's okay. It feels smoky and foul in there. It's nice to come out and get some fresh air." Stella was so smart that when she heard this, she guessed that there must be someone or something inside that made Charlie dissatisfied. So she said without hesitation, "Since Mr. Wade feels that it's smoky and foul inside, then I will accompany you outside for a while." Claire was a little dazed and said quickly, "Stella, why have you become so polite?" Stella looked at her, smiled, and whispered in her ear, "In formal occasions, you must give a face to Master Wade to show respect." Claire also whispered, "Stella, we are all friends. Why are you being so polite to him?" Stella whispered, "Claire, although we are all friends, it is thanks to Master Wade who helped me break the feng shui situation that I was able to sit on the seat of the head of the Fay family. If it weren't for Master Wade, I might still be in exile. With this favor, I must be respectful to Master Wade in front of outsiders." Yoshitoka was stunned. He was excited to welcome Stella, but he didn't expect that Stella was too lazy to go in because of Charlie's casual words. He had already announced the news that Stella was coming. If Stella really preferred to stand at the door and didn't go in, then he would have nowhere to put his face. Although it was a cold day, Yoshitoka was still sweating anxiously. He hesitated for a moment, but hurried forward and said attentively, "Miss Fay, Mr. Wade, it's still quite cold outside, and we shouldn't stay for long. Let's go in and talk. If Mr. Wade doesn't want to pay attention to Sweet, he can just not greet her." "Sweet?" Stella asked curiously, "Is it that Tawana Sweet? Does Mr. Wade have a conflict with her?" "No," Charlie smiled and said, "I watched a game yesterday. A grown man insisted that he had gender dysphoria and participated in the women's fighting competition. He was at a disadvantage during the game and tried to reverse the situation by groping her BR3 asts. It really made me feel a little sick. Today, I kept hearing that Singer sparing no effort to promote these things. I personally don't agree with it. So I debated with her for a few words. There is no contradiction. Then he said, Mr. Mitsui is the host. Since you are here, there is no reason for you to stay outside the door and not go in. Let's go in together. When Mitsui Yoshitoka heard this, he breathed a sigh of relief in his heart. And at the same time, he couldn't help but look at Charlie with some gratitude. If Stella really didn't go in, he really had no way to do anything. Charlie was completely helping him to relieve the embarrassment. After hearing what Charlie said, Stella immediately said readily, "Since Mr. Wade said so, let's go in together."